So here are my chords for my verse and then for my chorus. And I created these both using the same strategy, which I'll show you right now. So let me just duplicate this track and I'll show you how I created these chords. So we start with just a simple triad. So let me delete all these notes. So we start with the root notes of what we want our chords to be. So in this case, I believe I'm using a 1-3-6-4 pattern here, and I'm not really a music theory expert. I don't know much about music theory at all, but I'm using the transposer here to help me out in Logic. So if you have any kind of transposer tool or maybe the pitch corrector tool, you can set up what your key is. So I'm using A major. And I'm just turning this off because I don't want to actually do any transposing. But now I can see, okay, these are all the notes in this key because I don't have them memorized. And so here they are here. And so I'm pretty sure, right? I could be wrong. A lot of times people correct me on my music theory in my videos. But here is, I believe A would be 1. So this is 1, the first note or chord in the key. If it's the key of A major, then A is the root note. So A is 1, so we got A here, so that's 1. And then if we count up, so 1, 2, 3, right, all counting up the notes in the scale, C sharp is 3. So here's 3. And then we got 4, 5, 6, F sharp is 6. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, D is 4. So that's how I came up with 1, 3, 6, 4. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this. Because you don't actually need to know music theory to write awesome music. After all, music theory just describes what has been written. It doesn't necessarily help you write better music. Although I'm sure it can be helpful. I do plan on learning more music theory at some point in the future. So boom, got our root notes in. And then then what I do is I bring these up an octave. And then to create a triad, you move up 7 notes, just total notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then for a major chord, you count up 4 notes from the root node. For a minor chord, you count up 3. Now, since I don't have all the chords in each key memorized, this is going to be a little messed up at first here. So this is A major. So I'm going to count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But not all the chords in every scale is going to be all major or all minor. There'll be some minor, there'll be some major in each chord, or each key, I should say, each scale. There could be exceptions to this. Again, I don't know music theory. But let's look at transposer here, right? You might be thinking to yourself, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I know much more music theory than this guy, and you'd probably be right. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it. So here we are, and so I just look at, are all these notes correct? Are they all in the same scale? So for example, there's no F in this scale. So I'm going to bring that down, make that a minor. And now I know it's a minor chord. What else? A sharp. There's no A sharp. So we'll bring that down, make it an A. I think everything else is correct. So this is your basic triad. Only it's not a triad because we've got the root notes down here. So we've got 4 notes for these chords. And again, that just helps them make them bigger, make them more lush, make them richer. So that's why I like to have that root note in there. And that also often becomes my bass, as we talked about earlier. But for synthwave chords, we want all our notes and all of our chords to be very close together. Like there's not a lot of space between each note. And we also want a lot of the same notes to continue on through all of the chords. And so the way we do that is by what's called inverting the chords, by taking these notes and bringing them down. So, right, there's a kind of a big scale right now between, right, our bottom notes and our top notes. So we'll just bring these down. So this is G sharp, so we'll just bring this down, G sharp. So both of those have been brought down. We'll do the same thing here. So bring this E down. Now it's inverted. And I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I had. So if you look here, this is what I have currently. This is what I just created. Yeah, they match. That's how you create synthwave chords. So if I undo the inversion, here's what the chords sound like. So it's fine, right? Sounds like your typical chords, but doesn't really sound synthwavy. So now we have that compared to this. Sounds a little bit more synthwavy now. And so you can see what we have here. We have lots of notes carrying on through all the chords. See, look, we've got C sharp across 3 of our 4 chords. We've got D across 3 of our 4. And then we've got F sharp in a couple of them. We've got E in a couple of them. So you can see how it's a lot of the same notes. A lot of times this is kind of a telltale sign here. If you see you're just like 1 note away, I might want to move this up. And I tried that, I listened to it, I didn't really sound good, so I moved it back down. So it's also just using your ears. And then for the second verse, what I did is I also created a pedal tone. So I noticed, okay, this is continuing across almost all the chords except for 1. So what I did is I deleted those out and I just had put 1 long note, and that adds some tension to the verse, which I like to do. Create tension during the verses and then release it during the choruses so we can hear what these sound like now. So you can just kind of hear in that background that tension continuing on. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button like you're Marty McFly trying to get back to the future. And if you want more help creating synthwave music, be sure to click the video playing on the screen right now, as that is my full in-depth tutorial on creating a synthwave song from start to finish. With that, have an awesome day and keep creating.